RPL stands for Recognition of Prior Learning. Recognition of prior learning is the process used to evaluate your skills, experience and prior learning against the requirements of units of competency in nationally recognised training. The purpose of this video is to familiarise you with the requirements in regard to evidence and also how to use the RPL kit. The RPL process is evidence-based, and all evidence needs to be valid, sufficient, current and authentic, and also meet the requirements of the rules of evidence and the dimensions of competency. The first thing to consider about evidence is it needs to be valid. Although documents like resumes are very useful in the RPL process, they are not evidence in the sense of actual evidence. Saying you do something, either verbally or with a resume, does not mean that you actually have done it or can prove that you've done it. Hard evidence is required to demonstrate that you actually do have the skills, knowledge and experience to meet the requirements of any unit of competency. Your evidence also needs to demonstrate that it is current. Something done a long time ago might not necessarily meet the requirements of the units as they are today. Qualifications achieved through higher education or overseas or through informal training may well cover the units of competency, but this needs to be proved. You can't simply give us something and expect that we will know what it actually is. Where alternate formal or informal education or certifications is supplied, you need to demonstrate how that education or training meets the requirements of the units. Evidence also needs to show your skills, knowledge and ability, and not the skills and knowledge of others. Providing regular forms used in any organisation does not show your skill as someone else designed it, and it does not necessarily show that you know how to use the tool. Whatever form of evidence you supply, the requirements of the units are what count, and this means that your evidence needs to clearly demonstrate that it addresses all of the requirements of any unit of competency you are seeking RPL for. To assist you with this, we have designed a simple RPL kit, or at least as simple as we can make it. The 4 steps you need to undertake are the self-assessment questionnaire, completion of the application form, the provision of evidence, and then give us the RPL kit and evidence for revision. At the rear of the RPL kit, there is a section called Understanding Evidence. This will give you some straightforward and simple guidance on what evidence is usable and constitutes correct evidence for vocational education and training. We also provide a logbook which you can complete and provide details of your skills and experience. Like the RPL guide, the industry logbook is very simple to use and details what you do on a regular basis as evidence that can be used in the RPL process. The self-assessment questionnaire is an overview of what you have or have not done frequently. You will see that the unit code and name are listed, and against that you can simply list, as I am doing here, you can simply list what you have or have not done frequently, sometimes or never, as I have done here. If you do tick something as frequently or sometimes undertaken, you need to provide the evidence that proves that, and that is done later in this RPL kit. The self-assessment questionnaire provides the details required by the government for reporting and also gives us a clearer picture of who you are and what your experience is. The next section is the evidence you can provide against each specific unit of competency. You can see here that there are 3 sections: the code of the unit itself, then the type of evidence you are supplying, which you would tick off, for example, for a duty statement, other certifications, third-party report. This is then recorded and evidence attached to a matrix, which we'll look at now. When you follow the link for the matrix for each unit of competency, this is what you will see. As well as the unit itself, you can see the performance criteria and elements are clearly listed on the left-hand side. You then need to provide details of what evidence you are providing against each element and list that evidence on the right-hand side column. Then attach that evidence when you provide the RPL kit. For each and every unit of competency, you need to provide evidence that shows you have the skills, knowledge and experience for all of the unit. A portion of the unit is simply not enough. To view the details of a unit of competency, you can go to www.training.gov.au, where you can search for each unit, open it up and see exactly what each unit requires. You can then assess your own evidence against that before submitting it. Evidence comes in many forms, including certifications, samples of your work, job descriptions, duty statements, even your resume as supporting evidence. And importantly, in RPL, you can look for third-party evidence. We've supplied templates for you for a referee testimonial where someone can attest to your skills and experience against the unit requirements, or a peer colleague testimonial. These are legal declarations, and the people submitting these on your behalf are making a legal statement that you do indeed have these skills, knowledge and ability. Once the kit is complete, it's simply a matter of sending your evidence through for us to evaluate. With the RPL process, if we need more evidence, we will ask you.